Math Gad.
Hello everyone, today we are going to be learning about converse statements, which are basically a conditional statement or a variation of a normal conditional statement, which has the formula Q then P. So Q, arrow, P. We're going to be seeing a little bit about this and we're going to do some examples. So without further ado, let's begin. So guys, the first thing we have to remember is actually how an original conditional statement, like the first one, is formed. We have P, which is again the hypothesis, and we have Q, which is going to be the conclusion. Now, whenever we are finding the converse of the conditional statement that we see here on the left, what we're going to do is now what we had as the conclusion is going to be now our hypothesis, and then what we had as our hypothesis is going to be our conclusion, right? So this is what we call a converse statement. So now we have Q, then P. So the first thing we have to do is identify P, identify Q, and then switch them, right? Here, you guys can see that we have two examples that we're gonna try converting into a converse statement, right? So the first one we have here is the number conditional. So if it says if Squidward plays the clarinet, right? So that is going to be our hypothesis. Then he plays a woodwind instrument, right? That is So guys, let's take a look at the two examples we have here. So the first one says, the first conditional statement says, if Squidward plays the clarinet, then he plays a woodwind instrument, right? So if Squidward plays the clarinet, right, that is going to be our hypothesis. He plays a woodwind instrument. That is going to be the conclusion. So we're going to write that that is Q. But here we want to write the converse, right, of that. Now, just for fun, let's try evaluating the first one, right? So if he plays a clarinet, we're going to assume that one is true, right? Then he plays a woodwind instrument. We know that the clarinet is in fact a woodwind instrument, so that is true. And because we have true and true, you guys have to remember from the truth table, which I will be linking up there or down in the description, that the statement or the conditional then is overall true. True, true gives us true. Now, the converse statement is going to be Q, then P, right? So then it's going to be that if Squidward, or if he plays, so the converse, which is Q then P, is going to say that if Squidward, or if he plays a woodwind instrument, right, then he plays the clarinet, right? So let's try evaluating this one, right? If he plays the woodwind instrument, he can do that. So we're going to assume that one is true. We're going to see that he plays the clarinet. So when he plays the clarinet, that conclusion is actually false. Why? Because we have a counterexample. Maybe he is playing a flute and he's not playing the clarinet, right? So we're going to have a false conclusion here, which is going to make our overall conditional false, right? So guys, the first thing we did is that we identified the hypothesis, we identified the conclusion, right? And then we just switched it. So Q is going to be here. So if he plays the woodwind instrument and then the conclusion P, then Squidward plays the clarinet, which in this case is going to be false. So the converse of this first example is false. Now let's try tackling the second one, right? So if two angles are supplementary, that is going to be our hypothesis, then their angles at 180 degrees, which is the conclusion. So If two angles are supplementary, then their angles are going to add 180 degrees. Yes, two angles can be supplementary, and yes, they are called supplementary when they add 180 degrees. So because we have a true and a true statement, the overall is going to be also true, right? Now, let's try finding the converse. Now remember, the converse is actually Q then P. So we're gonna switch Q here. So it's going to be if their angles at 180 degrees, and then what we had as hypothesis, then the two angles are supplementary, right? So can two angles be added to be 180 degrees? Yes, so we can assume that the hypothesis is true. Are those two angles supplementary if they are added to give us a total of 180 degrees? Yes. So that means that we have a true hypothesis, a true conclusion still, and this converse is actually also going to be true. So as you can see, the converse of a true statement can be either true or false, depending on the statement itself. So that's it pretty much for today, guys. Feel free to review or rewatch the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!
Check out these other videos to improve your math skills, and make sure you click that subscribe button to make the community grow. Follow Math Gad in its social media accounts, drop a like, a comment below, and see you on the next one. Bye!